So we should
We're
be
live now.
live. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, we are live.
I see you guys are live.
So welcome, everybody. We're so glad you joined us today for our very special tea party, our tea drops party. Many of you will recognize Sashee Chandran, who was here with us a couple weeks ago, feels like a year ago in coronavirus time. And Sashee is the founder of Tea Drops, which is the amazing pressed tea that we talked about. Here's an example of one of Tea Drops' incredible packages. And we also have a special treat because Sashee is joined today by her mother, May Chandran, who is incredible. They're both Passionistas. We've interviewed them both. May is the best mother we know, and incredible chef and baker and award-winning queen of marmalade. So we asked them to join us today for a pre-Mother's Day tea party. And we had posted that you could order this sampler kit and join along with us. So hopefully, we know a few of you at least did that. So we're excited about that. And if you didn't get it, you got to order it after the fact, because what you'll get in this particular kit is this amazing variety of teas. And we are going to be sampling these teas today, or 4 of them at least, with May and Sashee. So hi, May and Sashee, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. This is such a treat.
I now can't hear anybody. So you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to get different headphones.
Thank you so much for being here today, you guys. We love you so much, and we're so excited.
Well, we're honored to be here. I'm very honored that you should ask me.
Oh, of course. You're our favorite, May. We love you.
Oh, thank you. Well, you two are our favorite ladies, but we're not just saying that.
Well, thank
Hi,
you.
Eileen. Hi, Gail. I see there's some people who joined the party.
Yeah, there's some people here. Hi,
Let's show my
guys.
phone.
If you have any questions, May's going to show us her spread. Point the camera down a little bit more.
My scones and all. Maybe if I show it this way, you see it better. This way. My scones and.
Oh, there they are.
We're ready.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you can't really eat it, but. Anyway,
I know. I know. Oh, I can taste them though. I remember how they tasted when you made them for us. So
I do too. I can still taste them.
Oh, great.
With the jam on the top.
The marmalade. Oh, and that clotted cream.
Yeah.
Yummy, yummy.
So good.
We have a bunch of people watching. So if anybody has any questions or comments for us, just let us know. We're going to sample some teas. And also it's Mother's Day. So if anybody wants to give a shout out to their mom or tell us their favorite story about their mom or something, let us know.
Or mom figure, or just really anyone you look up to.
Yeah.
Oh, your time.
Totally. And Aileen says that you have a lovely home, May.
Oh,
And
thank you. Thank you.
What no one is seeing is the spectacular drive up to your home.
Yes.
It's great for pandemics because there's nobody around.
Yeah.
But my daughter and my son used to say, why you guys live in such a deserted place? Nobody's there. And now, I feel very blessed to be in a place like that.
Right. Talk about social distancing.
Yes. And I enjoy my garden. I wish you guys could see it now because now it's kind of blooming, all the roses and everything. So it's really lovely. It's one of my treats to go outside and just be with nature.
Mm-hmm.
So great that you can do that. I'm glad you have your garden to keep you happy and keep you occupied right now.
Yeah.
Sashee, how are you getting through the coronavirus? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know. It's so true when you were saying that. It feels like a lifetime ago when we chatted.
Yeah.
I think for me, it goes in waves of just, feeling grateful for all the things that are going right. We're very lucky that we're selling our products online, that my team is safe, that we have a roof over our heads, that we have jobs, some of those basic things. But I was also watching this program the other day. It's actually called Red Table Talk. It's Jada Pinkett Smith's
Oh,
roundtable.
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was like an interesting specialist or not healer, but therapist or some kind of noted like mental health specialist. And they were saying, you know, that this is a grieving process for many of us, even if it's subtle. And I think we think of grieving as like something gargantuan that happens in our lives, like losing a loved one, actually getting COVID, having someone we know die of COVID, someone close to us. And I don't think it's, you know, grief from what I can see is just in the little things, like not being able to go outside whenever you want. It's grieving like the way that we interact with each other and how that's going to shift and change over time. It's just grieving like, you know, it's unlikely we're ever going to go back to the same office that we had. We just dissolved our lease. And like, what is that new normal going to look like? And I think like, that's okay. Cause I think before I felt guilty, like, oh, you know, it's not like it was massive guilt, but it's just like, you felt guilty for feeling some of those things. And so I think like we're all going through some semblance of grieving, even if it's small.
Yeah.
And I guess like the long-winded response to your question is, I feel it's like, okay, you know, it's okay to have this moment to grieve the things that are going to shift and change in your life moving forward.
Right.
I just can't get my head around what that's going to be. Like, I'm sure everybody feels that way, but like,
yeah,
I keep thinking like, oh, when I get to do that again, and it's like, if I get to do that again, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the big news this week in California is we're doing starting the slow reopen, and like really all that means is like another 3 different kinds of retailers can bring
like
stuff out to your car.
some variation of curbside pickup.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like you can, instead of going to Amazon for a book, you can go to your local bookstore and they'll bring it out to your car.
Yeah.
It's, you know, we're still
You know what I really feel awful is like I'm in a world of my own, and then I read the paper and I hear the news, and I kind of, you know, feel guilty because I know what people are going through. They're losing their job. They can't pay rent. And, you know, I feel so privileged to not be in that position. And I really feel for my fellow man, you know, and this is what really is troubling, the suffering of so many people. And the people losing their jobs, just a couple of days ago, they were talking about airlines. That particular day, there were 1,000 people flying. The same time a year ago was over 2 million. And that was just in the US. So you can just imagine the statistics. And, you know, it's just mind-boggling. So I try not to listen to the news so much because I just feel for these people who are, you know, who are really going through so much. These people who are losing lives and their loved ones can't even see them. The last one to see them is the nurse or the doctor, and the doctors have such long hours, and it does so much to them that they have a hotline now for doctors from their fellow psychiatrists. And you hear about the lady doctor who committed suicide because she just couldn't take it. It's the one in New York. And, you know, you feel like, oh my God, what is this world coming to? And yet I can't let myself go that route because I have to think positive amidst this pandemic, and because that's what's going to keep me going and the rest of the world going. But I totally understand where a lot of people are coming from, and I just wish, you know, I had all the money in the world. I could give some to everybody, and I have my people who, with the extra check, they're going to give it away. You know, I think that says a lot about humanity. And I was telling Sashee in the live video, I think America is going to have to figure another way of doing business. Sashee's lucky because she has all her stuff manufactured in the U.S. But imagine all businesses relying on China. You know, and I think we should come back to America. Yes, you're going to pay more, but definitely it's worth it. Our economy will be good for people. And I think this is a wake-up call for all of us because, you know, when you think about it, I was talking to my husband, all the greedy companies, such as airline, cruise ships, they are being exposed. Yeah. And they have to wrestle with this. You know, the airline, they got money last time, but they used it to buy out their stock. They didn't give to the employees. And they have to rethink about that. And I think this is really a spiritual wake-up call for all of us, for especially companies. So that's, anyway, I'm going off tangent.
No,
I agree, though. I agree.
Welcome to my life. You let her loose, and you will not get a word in edgewise.
Well, it's good thing Dad's not here.
Oh, I know. Between my mom and dad, the both of them, it's like, I'm surprised I'm not a mute.
You can hold your own pretty good.
Yeah.
So
let's drink tea.
Yeah. So the flavors that we are gonna try are chocolate Earl Grey, blueberry, I always say it wrong, Sashee, acai.
Blueberry acai. Okay, cool.
Sweet peppermint and vanilla white tea. So Sashee, which one should we try first?
Oh, I guess if you want to go fruity to dark, kind of like caffeine free to caffeinated.
Perfect.
We can start with either blueberry acai. Yeah, that's probably the lightest of the four. So blueberry acai, and then move on to aloha pineapple.
Beautiful. So this is what this looks like, everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my other box.
It comes in a little package, and you open it up.
My pack. Let me get my pack.
Okay.
And look, now this one's a little heart. Isn't that so cool?
So cute.
And then you drop this in hot water and it dissolves. So
here we go. So when's the last time you guys went out to like, I don't know, my mom and I, our favorite pastime has been going to tea, like tea houses or tea.
Yeah.
Is that something you, Amy and Nancy, do,
you know,
or have in the past?
I feel like we went to tea together, Amy, for your birthday.
We did.
Probably like 8 or 9 years ago, maybe.
I think it was I want to say it was my 40th birthday.
It might have been.
No, you know what? It might have even been before. I think it was 35 because it was when I had my Mini Cooper, and I had it was the day that Marvin put the British flag on top of my Mini Cooper.
Right. Yeah, it was a long time ago.
So I think that was my like 36th or 7th birthday. And that's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. We won't
you
call
can say
your age.
I'm 52 now, so.
Yeah. So I just want everyone else to see that I am using my mother's teacups.
That's so cute.
I'll be right back. You stir.
I saw you showing that, Nancy, before the call, and I'm like, I cannot believe
and this
that
is the teapot that has the hot water in it.
Very
so
cute.
our mother used to collect bone china from England. So there's the teapot.
Beautiful.
So this blueberry acai, it has ground blueberries. It's all organic, and also white peony tea. So it's a very light white peony. People think it's non-caffeinated, but has a very low grade amount of caffeine. Mm-hmm. It's the lightest of all the teas, of the caffeinated teas.
Oh, okay.
But just so you guys know, so this is probably our lightest tea that we offer.
Mm-hmm.
Smells good.
In terms of taste.
It's the first time I'm having it, Sashee. It's actually good.
Oh, you haven't tasted all the flavors?
Thanks.
No, I haven't.
She'll be honest, not every tea drop is my mom's cup of tea. She'll like, my mom, you can tell she's a very blunt lady. So she'll just be like, no.
I like this one.
All right. I need to go get a stir.
We weren't, that's how often we do tea parties. We didn't remember spoons. May, what do you think of this one?
I love it. It's very good.
Really good.
I was listening to Anderson Cooper, right? He loves blueberry acai. Sashee, maybe you should send him a box.
Really?
Yes.
Totally.
He loves it.
Totally.
I
And
like
so
the
there's
commentary.
a baby gift for when he's up with his new baby in the middle of the night.
I know.
love
The
it.
new baby
I
is
think
so
it's
cute.
Wonderful. I love
So
it.
cute.
He's such a wonderful guy.
I love Anderson Cooper.
Yes.
Do you
I love
remember
it.
that
What's
he,
his best friend? What's his best friend?
Andy Cohen?
Oh, he is hilarious.
No, we hadn't watched their New Year's special before, and this year for some reason we just started watching it. We were hysterical. They were so funny.
They're really, really opposites to attract.
Oh, that's delicious. That was my first sip. Sorry to interrupt.
Great.
Yeah,
I love it.
Good.
I like the discussion that people are saying. Sarah was bringing up how, well, this is based on your commentary, Mom, about cruise ships. They're also bad for the environment, and they really overwork a lot of their employees. I've heard this before, because they're on international waters. They're not subject to minimum wage.
That's right.
Oh,
They are not registered in the U.S. and they have the nerve to put the hand out to get money, and Trump's going to consider it.
Of course.
Yeah.
Wow. I've never been on a cruise. Have you guys been on a cruise?
I kind of refuse. My mom and dad love them, low key love them, but I will not.
Yeah.
I've
I mean,
always
they probably won't
considered
anymore.
it, but not anymore.
No.
I've always wanted to go on an Alaskan cruise.
Yeah,
I've heard those. That's the
beautiful
one
cruise.
I would consider, because there's places you can't get to unless you
Right.
go on a cruise.
Yeah.
Although one of those cruises down like a river in Europe sound nice too, where you can kind of hop on and off.
Yeah,
and
the
not
boats
as
are
big of a-
smaller.
The river cruises.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where
Well,
have you
my
gone on
husband said he'll
cruises?
never go on one again,
No.
so.
Yeah, we're all gonna be doing a lot of car trips, I think.
I think so.
Yeah,
This country
definitely.
trips.
Flying right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else is commenting? Gail is getting all prepared because Gail has her kit. She ordered her kit, so she's off getting water, and she's gonna try the chocolate Earl Grey, so we have to catch up with her on that. And so Sarah's asking what everybody's favorite tea drops are. So May, what's your favorite?
Yeah, Mom.
Rose Earl Grey, and I love Rose Earl Grey, and I also like her first one, the chai.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the chai spice.
You know, I like it in my favorite cake. I make a really wonderful cinnamon coffee cake, and I use that in between the layers, like a mouth
Really?
effect with the chai, cinnamon. What is that chai? Cardamom spice.
Chai spice. Yeah.
Yes, chai spice. That's a
Formerly cardamom. Because
is that-
people,
yeah, I knew it was cardamom. Yeah, how could I forget? I made thousands of those for you. Yeah.
Why
You
did you
did.
change the name?
we change it because a lot of people don't know what cardamom is,
Yeah.
surprisingly. So, or at least that was a surprise to me in the US. But then I think about it, it's like, if you're not exposed to that spice, how would you know? So chai is the more understood, because cardamom was the predominant one, and cardamom's a very expensive spice, especially if you get it organic. So I wanted to name it cardamom because I wanted people to know, like, it's very cardamom forward, but it also has all the other chai spices, which include cinnamon, ground ginger, some nutmeg. So now with that in place, like, I was like, okay, well, it is a chai, even though it's cardamom forward. But so that's why we shifted the name, because people would ask, do you have a chai? And I'm like, we have cardamom spice, which is like exactly the same thing.
No, I'm glad you changed the name, Sashee, because like you said, most people don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known that was the same as chai.
Yeah.
Nora loves the Rose Earl Grey as well. Hey, Nora. And Nora's now part of we have a new Tea Drops Club community Facebook group. So she just joined that.
Okay.
I've been recognizing her name. And Gail just said she's back. She just made a chocolate Earl Grey, which is and favorite.
Love it.
Let us know what you think, Gail. What's your favorite flavor, Sashee?
It's definitely the chai spice, because it was the first one I came up with. It's very reminiscent of chai that I grew up drinking. Especially in Sri Lanka and India, it's very common to serve chai at family gatherings, at parties, tea parties like this. Like if we were all in India, we would be sipping chai. There'd be no other option or choice. So, and I like the creaminess of it. I like the combination of these rich aromatic spices. It's just like a very comforting drink to me.
Yeah.
And so
That's how I feel about the peppermint. Which is my favorite.
That's your fave.
A cup of mint tea, peppermint tea.
Calms the soul.
I am a die to the, what is that expression? Die to the wool. I'm a diehard chocolate fan. So the chocolate
Earl Grey, speaking your language.
I have to admit, I haven't tasted the chocolate Earl Grey before.
Oh, it's good.
Oh, here we go. I don't know if we're actually going to get through all 4 during the session. We also have a scone tutorial, so maybe the next one we just pick our favorites and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm not usually a fruity person. It's usually too sweet for me.
This is delicious.
Oh, great.
Good.
I'm happy to hear that.
Really good.
Sashee mentioned the fact that you're coming with an unsweetened version of the
It's true, yeah. All the main 4 that are the most popular, the rose Earl Grey, citrus ginger, peppermint, and oh my God, how did I escape the 4th one? Oh, vanilla white tea and matcha. We'll be doing an unsweetened version of those in the fall. So I know that's been like
excellent, long
waited.
Has it been hard to adapt them to non-sweetened?
Yeah, that's what took so long, is just the reformulation of it. You know, it's honestly, it took years to get the format, to get it to hold together in a drop. So
interesting.
I will be
does the sugar help bind it together?
It is one of the binding agents. And then also when you have, you know, without the sugar, it's just this small little tea drop. So packaging it, figuring out to protect it in transit, all of these things, you know, you realize like, oh, wow, this is a lot more than just a change in the, you know, taking out the sugar. It's like, you have to now rethink how to bind it together naturally, because we don't want any fillers. You have to think about the transit of it now, like the new packaging of it, package design. It's like a whole process that you then have to work through.
Is it a whole different patent for you? The unsweetened, or is it the same?
It's under the same patent pending that we have, because it's the process. It goes through the same process. It just eliminates certain ingredients in it.
Right.
So, yeah.
I think that's one of the most amazing things about you, is that you have the creative side, which is coming up with all these flavors, but you also have the business side, and you have figured out this technical end of it that is mind-boggling. You
know, I just realized like I'm best suited to be a generalist of something. Like I don't have deep specialty in any one area. And I always thought like growing up, that was a, you know, deficit, that like, oh, I don't know for definitively I want to be a doctor. I don't know definitively I want to do this. And I think that trips up a lot of kids growing up. It's just like, oh, you haven't found that thing.
Right.
But my thing is just to like be the orchestrator, pull things together, not necessarily have super, like, I think I always admire people who have insane depth in a knowledge, in a subject or craft. I think that's incredible. Like it requires so much patience, dedication. And for me, just my skill set is more suited to be, I guess, like higher level, understand how all the pieces fit together, but not necessarily skilled in one area.
Right.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Do you think you expand beyond tea at some point? Like, do you think that Tea Drops has a bigger, in your vision, is it more than just tea?
I think so. Yeah, I want to see it, like, obviously our focus right now is tea, but I also think about there's tea infused beauty. We're really, you know, proponents of self-care and using Tea Drops as a platform to emphasize the importance of self-care, of taking that moment in the day. So if that's an extension of that, you know, there's so many other areas we could go. Content, or like tea infused beauty, wellness products. So yeah, that's an exciting prospect, awesome. But we don't know. Yeah, but I don't know when that timeline is going to be necessarily.
Right. That's okay. That leaves you open.
Yeah.
Should we?
Mom, you want to share? I know that you put your whole spread together. Did you want to share?
Well, it's not a whole spread, but it's you know,
it is a whole spread. World, this is not a whole
spread. I want to show you. I don't know if you can see. Oops. Oh. Can you see what I?
You have to lower the. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's good.
Okay.
Oh,
I want to show this phone. Let me get. Oh shoot.
I'm gonna have another flavor.
And I would just want to say while May's walking away, to her, this isn't a whole spread. Which,
I know, for me, this is like,
would have taken a month, but she, when we went, I think some of you probably heard this the other day, but when we went to May's house to do her interview, she made us lunch. The crew was the two of us, and Sashee was there, and May's husband, Bala. And she made enough food for like 75 people. And
Yeah, that table right there was covered with food.
it was all delicious. So.
Well, I love doing tea, but it is a lot of work. As I was saying earlier, if this was a real tea party, I would have finger sandwiches, because the Sri Lankans, I've learned from them, make the most wonderful finger sandwiches because they were under the British rule. So I would have asparagus tips. I would have the tricolor or rainbow sandwiches. We did 3 different colors made of beets, carrots, and some greenery. So the sandwiches would look so pretty. I would have cucumber sandwiches, egg sandwiches. Then I would have a couple of quiches for you and all kinds of cakes. In addition to the scones and blueberries and strawberries, whipped cream, and my award-winning marmalade. I have to add that in. So
you guys can see she's very humble too.
Hey, that's a big prize you won there, and I know you're still going for the gold. So
yeah. But anyway, so this is the scone recipe that we're gonna talk. The scone that we're gonna talk about. Now, I have literally made thousands of this. Okay, hundreds of this. And I don't know what happened, but this morning I put 1 extra tablespoon of baking powder in, but it's fine. It turned out just fine. Now I want to show you. This to me is the best recipe. This is an English-based recipe, and it's not my original. It's from Cook's Illustrated a few years back, and we sort of refined it a bit. But we had other recipes, and I can tell you from doing thousands, literally hundreds of scones, this got to be the best recipe. The reason why is when you think of scones, most Americans think of it as a biscuit, which is rather dry, but the English is more cake-like and moist. Now I'm going to cut you in the center what it looks like.
Okay.
It is so beautiful. Now this is golden raisins. This doesn't have that much raisin, but let me get a better example. But you see, look how beautifully moist.
Hold it up closer to the camera if you can, May.
Can you?
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Now this is very moist. It's cake-like.
Yeah.
And so to me, this is the epitome of the English scone. And I want to, I think it's going to take a few minutes, but I do want to share with you the most important thing of making the scone. May I do that? Maybe it'll take about 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Please.
Okay. Now I'm going to take this here.
Okay.
And then for everyone watching this recipe, we're going to post and link to the comments. And then afterward, Amy and Nancy can circulate it. But honestly, I mean, my mom and I made a lot of scones in our time. And like, this is the recipe.
Yeah.
And these are the ones we had when we were over.
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
And
those are
also,
delicious.
please don't think I'm talking down to the audience. I only know from my experience because I've worked with a lot of people at our temple. I had to train them. And you'd be surprised. The most important thing, the basic, is to know the difference between measurements for dry and wet.
Yes.
For dry, like your flour, and all the dry ingredients. And for your wet measurement, you must use one of these, okay? And you say, well, I don't see any difference. Believe me, there is a difference. Maybe not in the first cup, but as you go on, there is a big difference. Cook's Illustrated has done articles on it. So there is a difference. So
Why? Do you know why, May? Would you know why is there a difference?
Well, because when you do a dry measurement, you have to fill it and then level it. You can't level it here. And the 1 cup is here. Okay, so you have to be able to level it. And in my opinion, the Europeans have it right. Even though this calls for 3 cups of all-purpose flour, I do not go by cups. I go by 15 ounces. Because if you go by ounces or whatever, each time you get a consistent cake or scone. Okay, so I just want to tell you that first.
Because we should also say that, a lot of people that follow us are into food and stuff, but for people that don't know, cooking kind of savory foods is one thing, but when you're baking, it's such an exact science that the measurements are really, really key, right?
True. I remember as a kid growing up, I used to always love to bake in the restaurant. And my sister-in-law, who just never had the patience to measure, she said, I don't understand. I use the same thing. Why doesn't it turn out the same? Well, the difference is measuring cups. So anyway, here's 15 ounces of all-purpose flour, all 3 cups. Okay, if you don't have a measurement scale, it's 3 cups. In it, I have put 2 tablespoons of baking powder, half teaspoon of salt. Okay, you mix all that together, and you cut in 1 stick of butter. You cut the butter, softened butter, into like 1/4 inch cubes, and then with a pastry blender, if you don't have one, you can do it with your fingers, okay? And you cut it. You cut the flour with all that, and it should look like little teeny peas, okay? So don't stress out if it doesn't come quite the same, because when you bake it, it'll be fine. But it should come out uniformly. So that's why you should have the butter softened a little bit. Okay. Then in addition to that, we do have 3/4 cups of raisin. If you want raisin, you don't have to put it in, but I usually like it. Then I have 2 beaten eggs, and I mix it with milk to bring about 1 cup of liquid measurement. This is the milk egg mixture. Now, before you put
so it's not 1 cup of milk. It's actually the eggs and the milk combined.
It will make you beat the eggs separately.
Okay.
You don't have to beat it that well, but it should be mixed thoroughly. You put the eggs in here, and then add whatever it takes to make 1 cup liquid measurement. Now, before you pour this in, you take 2 tablespoons of this mixture, because you will use this as a glaze on top before you put the scones in the oven to get that nice brown finish. Now, I got the mixture, as I told you, the flour, the salt, baking powder, and one more thing, 1/3 cup of sugar. Okay.
So that goes in with the dry ingredients?
Yes. You mix it dry, then you cut in 1 stick of butter with the pastry cutter, or use your food processor if you have it, until it looks kind of like fine, like little teeny peas in it. Now you're going to put the raisin. You're going to add the raisin in. Can you see it?
Yep.
And I've taken 2 tablespoons of the egg milk mixture, and with the rest of the liquid measurement, I will stir in to my flour mixture like this. I do it with my scraper because it can get kind of sticky. I mix it real well. Can you see it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you mix it pretty well. And then,
Looks so good. Hey, may I have a question? I have a question while you're mixing.
yes.
Do you sift the flour?
You don't have to, but I do. Always sift it if you want
before
a finer finish. You don't have to, but I do. Now look, this is kind of mixed, right?
Yeah.
Then on a surface top, my hand's been washed, even though you didn't see me washing it. I washed it previously. You put some flour on the surface, not too much. You don't want to change the texture of this scone. Then you take it out. and you mix it some more.
How many scones does this recipe make?
14, about 14 to 15. Then what you do is you mix it, then you knead it about 20, 25 times.
Okay. That looks so good.
So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
It's beautiful to see it come together like that.
I know.
I know. This is so cool, Mom.
Yeah, I know. This is like my dream, having a cookie.
You know how beautiful this dough is?
That dough looks so great.
God.
Now, if
Immediately.
you put in more than a cup of liquid, it's going to get very sticky.
Mhm.
This is the way it should look.
Yeah.
Not too sticky, but like this, okay? Beautiful. Now, what you do is put a little more flour, and then you roll it out with a roller. If you don't have one, you can use a wine bottle. Okay, you're gonna roll it out to about 9-inch circle. You're gonna make it 3/4 of an inch thick.
Mhm.
So let's 9-inch, okay? This is about 9-inch, and it is about 3/4 of an inch thick. Then with the cookie cutter, this is a 2.5-inch cookie cutter. If you don't have it, use the rim of a glass. So we're very practical here. Then you put in the flour. And here's what's important. You cut it as close as possible, right? Then you can get more out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So hungry.
I'm breaking quarantine and coming over, May.
I know. It looks so good.
By the time I get there, they'll be baked, right?
I mean, why don't they have teleportation ready
I
yet? You
know.
you would think they could figure this
So
out.
Did it?
with a baking sheet lined with parchment. Okay, you see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Put these on. And you, you know, space it a little bit apart. These are going to be beautiful scones. I can just tell from the texture.
It looks so light and
I mean,
fluffy.
they look amazing to me. I'm looking at all.
Okay,
I have
now-
I have it on full blown screen on my computer.
You can do the rest with the flour. Do the same thing. I'm not going to do it all in the interest of time, but I usually fill it up. Then what you do is,
Camera
can
2.
you see it? Can you see it here?
Yep, now we see it.
Okay, with a pastry brush, take that mixture we had reserved, 2 tablespoons of the egg milk mixture. Then what you're gonna do, in the meantime, when you're doing the dough, get the oven up to 500.
500. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, but there's a trick to this. Okay, so here, you.
Mom, you might have put some of the grease on your camera screen when you moved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Can you take a napkin and where your camera is, just wipe it down so we can see.
Sorry, let me see. Sorry about that.
It's very dreamlike.
I know. I mean, I do feel like I am in a
Soft
dream, but
focus.
You see?
I should do that to my camera.
I think your camera's at the top. So if you do it towards the top and wipe it down,
Yeah, do you see like a little green light
Yeah.
at the very top,
above the screen?
above the screen, Mom, above the screen.
That looks better.
Yeah,
That looks-
great.
yeah,
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so with the mixture, you just brush it. Okay, in the meantime, you're heating the oven. And once it gets down to 500, you put it in immediately turn it to 425, because that little heat, extra heat, will push it to higher. Now, I have done this at the tempo. You don't have to do that. Just preheat at 425, put it in the oven, 5 minutes, turn it around. Another 5-6 minutes, nicely brown, done.
Wow.
You let it cool for a few minutes. When you take it out, then you have to cool it down. Cool it on a wire rack. After you take it out and leave it cool for a few minutes, then you put it here to dry. And that's it.
Wow.
Okay, so I think you probably know. With the rest of the dough, you just continue doing what I did.
Okay.
I don't like to put in 2 at a time. It changes the color. So I do 1 tray at a time in the oven. Okay.
Wow, Mom.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So great. Can you show everybody the close-up of the final version now again, so that they see how beautiful they are? Because the color of them is one of the things that always blows my mind about your stones, is like, they just are so beautiful.
Mom, you can set the computer down and just move the plate of it to it. Beautiful.
Oh, so great.
This is the easiest recipe. It's a joy to make. It's fun to make. If you have kids, let them help you. It's just really a fun recipe.
Hey, Mom, you're getting a question. Is it possible to make it with almond flour if people want to substitute and not use gluten?
You know, I have bought all-purpose flour without gluten by Red Mills. You can do that. Now, I have not done it with almond flour. I know the almond flour is very different from one brand to another, because I made it with chocolate chip cookies, and the ones at Costco never worked for me. I had to use another brand. So I haven't tested with almond flour, but it might be worth your while to try it, you know. And then also, as I said, there is gluten-free all-purpose flour available.
What about, someone asked, can you adapt it to be a savory recipe? So say you wanted to put herbs in or salt.
Don't put the sugar.
Yeah.
You can put cheese. A lot of people put cheese and herbs, you know, like rosemary or sage or what have you. So, and maybe brush it with olive oil. You know, but that sugar does add a little brownness to it. But, you know, you can test it out. This is the basic recipe, and this is the British stone. But from there, hey, do it whatever you want. Make it your own. That's what I love about these basic fine recipes. I just test it around and do various things, and who knows? You might even make a better pastry than this.
Doubt it.
No, it's
So, Sashee, was that pretty clear as to how to do it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Everybody, does anybody have any questions for May about what she just did? It seemed pretty clear.
Yeah. And then the recipe I posted in the chat group, so you guys can take that as well.
Thank you, Sashee.
Excellent.
So,
Thank you
May,
so much.
while we're talking about your scones, can you show everybody just the bowl of your marmalade, and maybe tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, let me just quickly wash my hands. Yeah.
Okay, we will talk. I need to test another flavor.
I was going to say, I've been drinking, as May's baking, I've been
drink your
drinking the white
favorites. I have a
vanilla.
chocolate Earl Grey too.
Yeah, I tried the vanilla white tea, which I had not tried before. It's really delicious.
Yeah, that one is. People say it's a dessert tea because it's
It is
pretty
dessert.
sweet.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
I'm going to try this with this ginger. I'm going off of our plan. I'm going to
Okay, this
Yeah,
is my,
I'm gonna try your favorite, which is a chocolate Earl Grey.
Okay.
May,
this
just so
is
you
the
know,
Maya lemon.
Aileen wants to know, May, when you're going to have your own YouTube channel.
Oh, I love to. I'm so.
You know
like a
what? I
dinosaur
now
when it-
have my Mother's Day gift, because I was asking my mom before. I'm like, what am I getting you for Mother's Day? I mean, we just got her a Chromebook. She needed a new Chromebook. But now I know, Mom, this whole setup that I have, you know how I have the lighting and the for the, you need that for home. So I think that's what you're gonna get for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That'd be great, because I love to share with what I've already written. A book is ready to publish, actually. It's a vegetarian vegan book. I've been working on it for the past couple of years. But anyway, I would love to do that. I would like to share with what I've learned. I'm always testing recipes, and it's my joy. So anyway, you were asking about the marmalade.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we ran out of marmalade, and I found this. It was in the fridge. 2014, and my husband had it this morning. He says it's excellent. Do you know recently they found Hillary Emmett? What's his name? He climbed the Mount Everest.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they found some of his favorite marmalade, and it was years later, so it's good because it's nothing but sugar. Now, I'm sorry if you don't like sugar, but marmalade, anything to be considered marmalade, it is the queen of preserves. Marmalade is made of citrus, and you have to have at least 65% sugar, or it's not considered marmalade. So anyway, for those of you who like sugar,
I'll bring it back. I'm getting milk.
once in a while, this is my award-winning marmalade. I enter a contest in England. Those English people really know their marmalade. And I just, every year I saw the contest. I said, but I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Finally, I said, it's now or never. So I entered it, and to my surprise, it got the International Silver Award. So I was very pleased with it. But, I'm aiming for the gold. And I know a Japanese woman. They don't publicize her, and I think it's because she's not English. She's won it 4 or 5 times consecutively. Nobody has won it like that. So she's in Japan. She's a teacher, by the way. So I would love to go and take lessons from her. And my husband says, you don't know Japanese. I said, you know what? Cooking is a universal language, music, right? All I have to do is observe, and I know the basics. That's it. But this woman is so interesting. Her combination is like she makes arugula, that vegetable, with citrus. I mean, it's really unusual. And I think that's what propelled her to win the double gold, not only the gold, the double gold, the highest of the high. So marmalade making is a science and an art, and that's why I love it. Yeah.
Maybe you and Sashee need to come up with a tea drops flavor combo scone to enter and take the gold.
People already have said that. We had her on our Instagram live yesterday, and people were like, "Ooh, maybe you could inject some marmalade into your tea drop." They were coming up with all kinds of variations for us to try.
Yeah. Or Sashee, you could sell marmalade. It would go great with tea.
Yeah.
Tea and scones and marmalade. We could do a scone mix. It won't be the same, but we can do a scone mix. In fact, I was working on it one year for you.
Yeah,
so,
I think that could be a great idea.
I mean, the possibilities are endless, just limited by our imagination. So, well, just stay tuned and see what we got in store.
I mean, I'm excited for, obviously, when these quarantine mandates are lifted. I think that's what I miss, is if we could create some kind of event or bring people together. You can make your scones, Mom. We'd serve the tea. I want to do more in-person live events and bring self-care experts and just have more of a community feel. And I feel like that would be a great place. Like nothing better than bonding over cups of tea and scones and your delicious scones and your marmalade and everything else you want to contribute. Your award-winning apple pie.
That were really good.
Nancy and Amy, I have to tell you, I can't believe, I was telling my husband this morning, every time I post a scone recipe, even when it's not even that well made, people respond to it so much. And I said, why do people do that? And he says, I think people just love scones. I don't know. People just enjoy scones, which surprised me a lot. I thought Sashee and I were one of the few people, but I think the whole of America, they like scones, and especially when you serve on a refined plate like your fine chinaware. It's such a ritual, and it's a luxury. So I think it takes them to another place, another time, another era, I don't know. I think that's what it is, and I think that's why people love having tea.
Well, I think it's one of the few leisurely activities in our society. Like if you look at it, when you have tea, it's not like they're rushing you. You know, it's a very leisurely thing. You drink tea, you have scones, you have your afternoon tea sandwiches. And up until this time when we're forced to take it slow and reframe how we view time and what we value, we never had that luxury. And so that's why people gravitate towards it, because it's such a soothing and calming and slow paced, unhurried activity.
Yes.
And now it's like we have the ability to recreate scones, have a mini tea party, a party for one, or a party with your family and loved ones, and bring that into the home. So I think that's really cool.
Oh, I just thought of something, guys. Let me just tell you, the scones you can freeze. And when you take it out of the freezer, just get a paper towel, wring it out, okay? Wet it.
Oh, this is a good technique. Yeah.
And wrap the scone around it, 20 seconds or maybe 25, depending on your microwave, how powerful it is. And you've got a perfect scone right off the oven. So freezing it is fine. And that's how you get it to warm up.
That sounds like it would then make it possible for you to overnight those scones to some people.
That's true.
You could. I know a mother who used to do that for her child in college.
Really? Sounds like a lucky
you could
child.
do that.
I just want to show everybody, this is the beautiful flower shape.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah.
Ginger.
Our citrus ginger, that's a popular one.
I love
organic
that.
citrus shrines, organic ginger.
So cute.
Good for your
Very
tummy.
soothing. Good for your tummy, good for a post meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that would be good with the definitely good with the scone with the marmalade on it.
Uh-huh.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I love that citrus ginger.
All right.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites as well.
Yeah.
So
And Sashee, in addition to like having these tea drops on their own, you have all kinds of recipes too of like things you drink and food that you can make with
if
them.
you guys have been joining me every morning, I try to do a new creation with tea drops, whether it's a latte. So I recently rediscovered my frother. So it's a milk frother. It was probably like the greatest $25, $30 investment I made, but I've been rediscovering my love for it. So I've been making rose Earl Grey lattes, which are another name for that is London Fog lattes,
Oh, that's
chocolate Earl Grey lattes, turmeric golden milk lattes. This morning I made a matcha latte slush. So I took matcha green tea, ice, and milk and blended it in a blender because, you know, you guys are in LA. It's 90 degrees here.
Yeah, right.
I'm very amazed that you're still drinking. I mean, I drink a hot cup of tea no matter what the weather is, but like
I have my air conditioner cranked.
it's pretty brutal. So I was trying to come up with some iced tea recipes. And then with my mom also has a really amazing banana bread recipe that's also on our site. And I can also link it here if you want to see it or want to view it.
Definitely.
But that you can also infuse tea drops. So we made a chai banana bread. So we just dissolved some chai tea drops and infused it into the banana bread, and it was good. So there's so many variations you could infuse into baked goods, infuse it into beverages. I made a Thai iced tea popsicles the other week because it was also like we had another scorcher. So a lot of creativity there.
Oh, I love
The
that.
citrus ginger would be a really good popsicle. We're getting a request to see, I think Lisa Barbosa wanted to see the tea drop actually dissolve in the water, but mine's already dissolved. So it just looks like, you know, a regular cup of tea. There's a
Here,
little...
I can bring one. I don't know how hot my water is anymore, but let me try. I have a clear glass.
There's like a little bit of sediment down the bottom, extra kind of tea, but as Sashee's told us before, that's actually really good to drink.
And it's yummy.
And it's really yummy. It's like an extra little kind of thicker treat at the bottom of the glass. But this citrus ginger...
Okay, so I'll do the Aloha pineapple since that's one of the ones we were going to do.
Okay, cool.
Just to demonstrate how this works.
Okay.
My hands are wet, so I can't... I just washed the cup. Let me get a pair of scissors real quick.
Amy, I just want to tell you, people like me, I don't like a strong tea, so I can actually get 2 cups out of 1 tea drop.
Oh, that's
You know,
interesting.
You
So do
cut
you
it
like
in half.
put another hot cup of water and just make another tea. So,
So I'm gonna hold it up
yeah.
to,
That's a good idea, May.
Yeah.
and then as you pour the water and stir, it's kind of like a bath bomb, Lisa. So you just dissolve it like that.
And Sashee, tell everybody like the benefits of drinking the leaves, because there's benefits to that, right?
Yeah, so I mean, in Asian cultures, even to this day, for thousands of years, they consume the whole leaf tea because that's where the antioxidants are. That's where all of the benefits of, you know, each type of tea blend has a different benefit, but that's where the nutrients are. So when you are drinking tea drops, you're really drinking the whole leaf tea, and you're getting, you're consuming those extra antioxidants. And so that's something that I grew up with. So, when drinking jasmine tea or oolong teas, when we would go to Chinese restaurants, there's always the tea leaves that sit at the bottom, and we would consume them, like the whole leaf. So I grew up with that, and realized the benefits of consuming whole leaf tea. And so that's part of the tea drops experience, is that when you drink tea drops, you're really drinking the tea fiber at the bottom of your cup. And you can strain it if you prefer, just like a clear brew. But that's something that I personally enjoy. Like, it's almost like boba at the bottom. If you actually infuse it with boba, it's like a nice addition or conclusion to your drinking experience.
Yeah.
How's the chocolate now?
I didn't try the chocolate because I've already tried that before. I'm drinking the vanilla.
I like the vanilla. This is the
Vanilla white, really good. The vanilla white tea.
What shape was the vanilla? Flower?
I think it was the flower.
Yeah, it's also like a bundt flower shape.
Yeah.
Similar to citrus ginger.
I'm going to show the box again because it's so much fun to just like try all the different flavors. And I know Sashee has another sampler box there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a sampler. We also, if you're gifting it, we have this type. This one is what I have similar to you, but this one is actually, we now have a whole subscription teen chat series we call, just bringing experts around self-care. And so my team just sent me our May box, which I'm really excited about. I did an interview with Joy Cho, who's like just an entrepreneur I've looked up to for many years. And she's a graphic designer, and she's done her own product lines with Target and Band-Aid. And she's also, a mother of 2 and working from home. And there was this whole surge when people started working of like the division of space, when your kids are learning either right next to you or in the next room. And how do you, there's just a ton of mom guilt that's being had across so many people. So we kind of address that in this box, and have challenges to help you navigate just this new era of working from home while trying to raise youngins. And
like a written interview you did with her? Is it like
it's a written interview? We also have a recorded interview that's on our YouTube space. So I got to, I sat down with her for about 30 minutes, and we talked about everything from this new era, how our lives have transformed. But also, she also has immigrant parents too, who they started a Thai restaurant and built up a Thai restaurant chain. And, because I asked her, I'm like, what is the one thing you learned from your parents? And she was saying how they weren't around a lot. Like, they worked day and night. And my mom can attest to this. When you're in the restaurant business, that's your life. You work around the clock. And so they never really got to see their parents a lot growing up. And she always questioned why, like, where were you guys? But then as she grew up, she realized like the sacrifices that they had made just to keep the lights on, to send them to school, to just, my hats go off to especially like first generation parents or immigrant parents who are just navigating this new life, trying to work around the clock to just provide food on your table. And that taught her to have insane hustle, and develop her own business and build I have so much respect for people, not just build businesses, but the longevity of their business, that she's been doing this for 15 years, you know, and that's a different type of endurance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
Especially times like this, you know.
So
Yeah.
did you say the subscription box is monthly or quarterly?
It's monthly
It's
right
monthly.
now, which, as you guys know, having your own subscription box, it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I'm so glad ours isn't monthly.
To source, come up with content, and also
Yeah.
like I like featuring, similar to you guys, I love featuring female artisans and other entrepreneurs. So included in this box is one of my favorite female pastry chefs. Her name's Celine, and she came up with these custom sayings. First of all, these cookies are like butter cookies. They're delicious, but you know, it says, "Wish I could drink tea with you. Get the party started." So,
oh, those are great.
so these are also in the box. But yeah, so it's like sourcing, you know, sourcing kind of interesting new makers, content for the box, what the box subscription rotation is going to be, all of those things.
Yeah.
And how many teas do you get in the, how many tea drops do you get?
You get 16 drops. So you get 16, enough for, you know, the whole month to enjoy, and it rotates every month. This month we have our Thai iced tea, which has like been on fire as a fan favorite, a Rose Earl Grey, the Aloha Pineapple, and Glow, which is our unsweetened tea sprinkle blend. So
we love
a lot going on.
Yeah.
Ask what the cost of the box is.
Oh, it's $25 monthly, and that includes access to also like our Tea Club Facebook group, where we have additional content, interviews, as well as the rotating theme. So in the past, we interviewed the author of the New York Times bestseller, The 5 Love Languages. He came and did an interview with me, which was so awesome. You guys know the founders of Cool House Ice Cream. We featured them for Women's Entrepreneurship Month. And we just have a lot of amazing people on board who just give their different perspective on self-care tips, on different challenges they're facing. You know, topics like no topic is off limits. So it could be mental health, it could be entrepreneurship, it could be, especially right now, just like maintaining your sanity. Also, if people are in the household, if they never spend that much time with their spouse or their significant other, and everything that kind of brings up. So we go into a lot of different topics each month, but I think it's been really, we're seeing our subscription base just grow, because I think it's very timely and important content that people want to learn more about and address. So
that's excellent.
Congratulations, Sashee. See, I didn't even know all this was going on.
Glad we brought you two together.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You must be pretty proud of her, May.
I am. I was saying yesterday in the video, I am very proud of her, both my son and her, because both of them are entrepreneurs, and they're both hardworking, and just really generous souls. They have such a good heart, and they always want to help others. To me, that is more important than making a ton of money, which, I mean, I'm very happy for them, but in the end, it's about character, you know. And I'm very proud of both my children, fine human beings, and yeah, I'm very lucky.
Yeah.
Well, you did a good job.
we're lucky too, Mom. You're a great, amazing mom. Happy Mother's Day.
I know. We hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day, May.
I will. I won't see Sashee, but you know, she offered to come earlier, but it's fine. And you know, we do Zoom like this and FaceTime, and that's I mean, we're very grateful that we can have these new technology where we keep in touch. So
absolutely.
And it's just great, you know. And yeah, thank you very much.
We're getting close to the end, but I have a question, Nan, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, go for it.
Can you each tell us one of your favorite stories about the other one?
Yeah.
Sashee, you can go first.
I mean, I have a few memories that really stick out with mom. I'll tell two of my favorite memories is so I used to go to a elementary school on the UCLA campus called Connie Seeds Elementary School. And my parents, where they live, and you guys have been there before, it's pretty far out, right, from Westwood. So that drive would be, 45 minutes to an hour every morning. And usually my dad would take me in the morning, but sometimes on special mornings, my mom would take me. And before school, she would take me to the UCLA campus where they serve breakfast, and they made these like huge pancakes, and like it was a student center. I don't actually know the name of it, but like it was the student center, they grab breakfast, they had tater tots, and it would just be so fun to like get breakfast with my mom in the morning and have that time with her. And it was like a treat I remember looking forward to. And the other thing, I used to love and be obsessed with Sanrio, which is like the Hello Kitty conglomerate. And I remember one specific day after school, and I didn't get to go that often, I would say, but like I went here and there. But my mom, I must have been like maybe 6 or 7. And my mom had like the surprise grab bags. I think at that time they might have been $10 or $15, but like you didn't know what you were getting in it, the grab bags, but it was in that beautiful Sanrio packaging. And she like had one waiting for me when she picked me up. And so it's not these monumental things. Like my mom is heroic in many ways, is like an amazing mom, so supportive of my journey. But like, it's these memories that I'm like, it was like a surprise and delight that stick out to me.
That's awesome.
Love that. What about you, May?
Well, there's a few that stick out, but I was telling people yesterday, Sashee always had a strong sense of justice, right and wrong. I think most children have that, but she had it right from the beginning. And I remember she was sitting right across there in her little high chair, and she was like less than 3. And my husband had lost his dark glasses, and he was telling everybody, we had guests too. He was telling Prakash, my son, and me, everybody to find it, help him find it. So Sashee just blurted out and said, Daddy, you can't just sit there. You have to start looking too. And I thought, wow. And she was like, I'm here. She's under 3, and she's telling him to go find it. You have to go find it too. So that's one of them. She had a strong sense of right and wrong. And then also, she was always for the underdog. At Malibu High School, she would get Bala, my husband, to go to Oxnard, to go to, what is that famous donut shop, Sashee?
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. That was the only shop around that time. He would buy a couple boxes, and Sashee and her friend Sophia was at the time, would set up these tables and sell these Krispy Kreme donuts to these rich Malibu kids for a profit. And all that money went to St. Joseph's. And I remember I saw an award they gave you, Sashee. So she was only 15 at the time. But ever since young, she was always for the underdog. And then when she went to college, she was at UC Irvine. She wanted to feel what a homeless person goes through. So she and a couple of her friends decided to do that. So they slept outside and took a blanket, a sleeping bag. Sashee, did you? And,
we had sleeping. It's called sleep out, where you would sleep outside and.
Right, and you said that it was horrible. People treated you awful, and you went to a store to use their bathroom. You were telling me, and they didn't really like that. So she wanted to experience for herself what a homeless person goes through. And I thought, wow, this kid is, you were about 18, 19 at the time. This kid is so beyond what I was going through. I mean, I really think that these new age kids, their consciousness is so much higher than ours. So from that angle, she always had so much compassion. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so that's my memory of her. But I also want one more story. As I
my God, no.
one more.
One.
Okay, one more.
Listen,
I said Sashee's got to be one of the luckiest girls I know, starting with having the best brother in the world. Gosh, so protective of her, always watching for the little sister. And I remember Sashee played soccer, okay? And Prakash, he went there later, and somehow he saw these jelly bean shoes that Sashee was wearing, and he thought, oh, my sister forgot them. He brought it home, and they didn't belong to her. She had already brought her jelly bean. I said, oh my God, somebody's missing their jelly bean shoes. But that's how thoughtful he was. He was always looking after her. You know, so the two of them are just like this. And I know people don't believe me, but they never fight. So she's a very lucky girl, and these are the memories I have of them and of Sashee.
I'll say it again. You and Bala did a good job.
Good job. Excellent.
Oh, thank you. What about you, Amy? We want to hear from you guys too, of each other, your family. You
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have such a close-knit, amazing family as well.
We do. There are 5 of us who are all close. We have a Zoom conference call every Sunday now during this time. It's so great. Our brother is still on the East Coast, so it's nice to get in touch with him and catch up on his kids. He has 3 kids.
Oh,
Amazing.
And our mother was amazing. She passed away way too long ago. But she, you know, when we would fight when we were kids, she would say, "Don't you forget your brother and sisters are your best friends, and that's the most important thing." And
true.
She was right.
So sweet.
She was amazing. You do remind us of her, May. She was very kind, very loving. Everything was for her family. She never, ever once put herself before any one of us. And I don't know, Nan. Do you have a favorite mama story, Nan?
This is my go-to mama story. I was a punk rocker in high school. I had like spiky hair, and I was really a little bit of a rebel.
You look like David Bowie.
Yeah, I wasn't very popular. I had a lot of a lot of haters. And one day my mother and I were driving in the car, and it was a beautiful spring day, and the windows were rolled down, and another car, we were driving one way, a car came the other way past us and yelled out their window, "Punk rock sucks." And my mother slammed on the brakes, turned the car around, and followed them home.
Oh my God. She's so by your side.
I was mortified at the time because I was, 15, 16 years old. I was hiding under the dashboard. I'm like, I can't go to school ever again. If you do this, stop. But she followed them, pulled into their driveway behind them, and got out of the car and yelled at them, "You don't know the first thing about my daughter. How dare you?" And she
I love it.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
She would never, if anybody did anything wrong to her, she would not have done that.
No.
But if she would say, "You mess with my chickens."
Yeah.
then she'd get the Italian.
Oh man. I'm sure we could tell stories all day, because this reminds me of another story, Mom, but I can save this. I feel like you'll come back, Mom. We'll celebrate you.
Yeah, we'll
again,
have it back. My favorite mama story is more like Sashee's. It's more of like kind of an everyday thing. But I was the youngest, so I am the youngest. So I was home with her after everybody else had moved out of the house. And it would be the dead of winter. It would be 20 below on a Wednesday night. And she would look at me. We'd be in our pajamas, and she'd say, "Do you want ice cream?" And we would go to Friendly's, which was
I remember Friendly's.
Remember Friendly's? May, who grew up in Fall River. We would go to Friendly's, and they had a window, like an outside window that you could go up to, and we would get ice cream cones pretty much every Wednesday night for like years, whether it was summer or winter. And she'd say, "Don't tell the other kids." And so I always thought like, oh wow, this is amazing. This is just this one special thing. And just like 6 months ago, all 5 of us were talking, and she had something like that with every single one of us. Like, don't tell the other kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine was tuna fish sandwiches at the deli across the street from their office.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Lisa and Beth's were. They're listening, so they can add that. But.
Yeah.
Gotta love parents.
Yeah.
Gotta love moms. They
Yeah,
truly are the
wonderful
best.
woman.
Yeah.
And if you do love your mom, it's not too late to at least order the subscription box, right, Sashee, and let her know that she's going to get tea drops.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have subscription boxes, we have gift boxes, we have so many things now, and you know, this is, I feel like, especially during this quarantine era, it's been amazing to just see how our community has responded and shared moments of like connecting with their mom over Zoom, over a cup of tea drops, and just like my mind is always boggled when we still get these notes and these social tags and everything else. So I hope we do more of these tea parties, not for tea drop's sake, but I just really love connecting in this way and talking to you guys and sharing stories. And
excellent.
Mom,
really
next
fun.
time bring your scones in person. Scones
Okay.
in person.
Make some more marmalade.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
All right. Thank you so much for having us on. This was
Have
so
a great
fun.
day, everyone.
And thanks to everyone for tuning in. You guys are
thank you.
amazing.
Happy Mother's Day to all you
Happy
mothers
Mother's
and
Day.
mother figures.
Happy
Yes.
Mother's Day to everybody. And Nan, you want to wrap it up with a few things there?
Yeah, so next Tuesday, our Facebook Live is with Kaylee Hernandez, who has a company called Roho, and she works with artisans in Kenya to make these beautiful beaded sandals and jewelry, and they're gorgeous. And so she's our guest next week. And then I think Thursday, Amy, we're going to do maybe an unboxing and a trivia quiz.
That could be next Thursday. That's right
So
now.
stay tuned for that. And in the meantime, I hope everyone stays healthy, stays home, stays safe, and stays passionate. We love you all.
Love you all. Thank you again, Sashee.
Thank you so much for including us and having us.
Thank
Love
you so
you.
much. And your tea is
Thank you.
delicious. I can't wait to get through the rest of this box.
Thank you. Thanks for having and trying and supporting us always.
We love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.